Hello everyone. In this video, we are talking about top 10 not-for-profit ERP systems in 2025. So let's dive right in. My name is Sam Gupta. I am principal at Elevate IQ. Elevate IQ is the independent, vendor-agnostic technology advisory firm. We help our clients with system selection, change management, digital transformation strategy. On that note, let's go back to today's topic, which is top 10 not-for-profit ERP systems in 2025. When you look at the not-for-profit space, it's very unique in general from the ERP perspective. It has very different accounting standards, and that does require the pre-baked functionality as part of the ERP system. The kind of CRM processes you are going to have, they are much thicker as well, and they require much closer alignment with the ERP system as well. And that's what makes the not-for-profit space very unique from the ERP perspective. In general, when you look at this list, we are looking at all sizes of companies. So pay close attention to my commentary as I touch on each systems, because they excel in very specific size segment, even though we have these ranks, but these ranks might not be relevant in every single size segment. So pay close attention to my commentary as I touch each of the systems. Overall, some of the things that you need to keep in mind, the not-for-profit edition is very, 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 very critical, especially if you look for the not-for-profit ERP system. So that is going to be any sort of grant accounting, fund accounting, even the systems as capable as Microsoft. They might have project accounting, and they might claim that you can translate that into not-for-profit accounting use cases, but that is very hard in general. Replicating that, you are going to take a lot more workarounds, and you would not get the benefit that you look for from your ERP system. So that's where having that as part of your ERP system is very important. Now, the other things that you need to keep in mind is the data center piece, where the data is located. In general, with not-for-profit systems, you are going to have constraints, and that is generally posed by your funders and donors, that your data must reside in a specific country or jurisdiction. If you have those constraints, then you need to make sure that the ERP system that you are exploring is going to have data center in those geographies. Now, the other things that you need to keep in mind, overall, there are many different scenarios, such as volunteer management, membership, the way your donors are going to be structured, the way the whole move management functionality that is going to be structured. Even though move management functionality is probably going to reside inside CRM, but that might have implication inside your ERP as well, because these transactions are going to touch the ERP layers as well. Then a lot of not-for-profit are going to have things such as your emergency management. They might have a little bit of real estate, property management piece. So you need to have all of those layers as part of your ERP system. Some of the systems that you're going to find in this space, they are going to have the complete suite-centric functionality. For example, the way your procurement is going to be in not-for-profit is going to be very different. Things such as some not-for-profit organizations operate the way your public sector organizations are going to operate. So the member experience, the citizen experience matters in these cases as well. So those are some of the factors that we will be touching as I touch each of these systems, and that you need to pay attention to as you are evaluating these ERP systems. The criteria that we have used to compile this list is product share, acquisition strategy focused on not-for-profit ERP, product roadmap, community, ecosystem, win rate, technology strategy, and investors. So these are some of the factors that we consider, and we are tracking these systems on a daily basis and publish these lists and rankings every year. So now let's look at the list. Number 10 on our list is Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. And for the most part, when you look at the Business Central system or their legacy system, for example, GP, it is generally very well adopted among not-for-profits. But for the most part, when you look at the underlying layers of Microsoft Dynamics, it may not have the whole not-for-profit edition, which is going to be critical for most not-for-profit. And for that, you are probably going to rely on add-on. In general, the Microsoft system is very good, as at least from the customizability perspective, and that is going to be a fundamental requirement for most not-for-profit, because the kind of workflows that you're going to have, they are very ad hoc, very fluid. Each of the not-for-profit system that you have, they have very unique personality, very unique business model, and because of that, you do require very customizable system, and that's where Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central shines. The other advantage for Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central is going to be it has very global footprint, and it is localized and globalized in many different countries. So some of the systems that we have on this list may not be available in those geographies. So the only options, at least from the mainstream ERP systems perspective, might be just the Business Central. So that's a huge plus for BC. So again, if you are the not-for-profit SMB not-for-profit, you are not very large enterprise, you are looking for slightly smaller system, and you require very large ecosystem where you can find many different add-ons to augment the not-for-profit capabilities that you are going to need, as well as the customizable end ecosystem. So those are some of the factors, and that's number 10. Number 9 on our list is Workday. And Workday started as more of the enterprise HCM system. Even today, they are more of the HCM system. Their finance capabilities, they have developed those. And now for not-for-profit, the finance capabilities might be okay. They also have FP&A as well as the indirect procurement layer as part of their suite. So when you look at and compare Workday, it does come across as the full suite ERP system, at least for the not-for-profit. But again, they are not going to be as strong with their finance functionality. It's not as proven, as installed as the ERP system. They are known for their ACM capabilities. That's where companies generally use them, and for the most part you are going to find them in very large enterprise centric companies. The product is very thick overall from the functionality perspective, so it does require very expensive implementation, long implementation, so it might not be as relevant for the mid-market companies. But if you are going to be a large not-for-profit, very enterprise not-for-profit, for those Workday is a great not-for-profit ERP system, and that's number 9. Number 8 on our list is Financial Force or Certinia. And Financial Force, and the new name for that is Certinia. If you're not familiar with the system, they are part of Salesforce ecosystem. They are leading ERP system for service-centric companies in the Salesforce ecosystem. So if you love that Salesforce experience, Salesforce platform, and you're looking for very similar experience, even for your finance and PSA function, then Financial Force could be a great fit. In general, Financial Force Certinia, it is not as adopted as some of the other systems that we have on this list. They are not going to have as many logos, but for the most part, let's say if you really love the Salesforce experience, then Certinia could be a great system. They were always very strong with their PSA capabilities. So that is going to be professional services automation. For the most part, it is known for the consulting companies where you are going to have resources that require scheduling at the resource level, the skill set level, and the capabilities that you require for the PSA function is going to be very different as well. They are very strong. Even systems such as your Workday are going to have PSA support, but their PSA was always very strong because it was very well used among consulting companies. So if you're not for profit, is going to have very similar model as the consulting companies. Sometimes they do that. Some not-for-profit, they consult for other not-for-profit. So, for those capabilities, Financial Force may be a great system, and that's number 8. Number 7 on our list is Blackboard. And Blackboard is very well adopted among SMB and not for profit. They are going to have the micro vertical functionality for many not for profit. The challenge with Blackboard right now is that they are a very legacy vendor, and even though they are going to have some cloud capabilities, but the cloud capabilities are not as mature as what they used to have in the on-prem world. So their majority of the install base is still very on-prem, so that is going to be a constant. But overall, you are going to find very deep micro vertical functionality with Blackboard that you might not find with other systems on this list, and that's number 7. Number 6 on our list is SAP S/4HANA. And SAP S/4HANA is ideal for very large global enterprise companies. And SAP S/4HANA does provide that not-for-profit edition where you are going to get the not-for-profit accounting as part of SAP S/4HANA core. So that's a huge plus. And SAP S/4HANA is most likely going to have data centers in most of these geographies. So, with that, you are probably going to have that benefit as well. Now, with SAP S/4HANA, the real challenge that you're going to run into is the whole customizability of the platform. In general, it's not as customizable as, for example, let's say if you compare this with Microsoft, the way the model is designed, it's very restrictive, from the financial control perspective. That's a good thing, but it might not be as good thing, from the not-for-profit perspective, where you do have very ad hoc, very fluid processes that require changing all the time. But depending upon your architecture, how you are going to model these processes, how you are going to design your architecture, if those processes don't necessarily touch the ERP processes, then you might not have as much problem. And if your priority is going to be more, auditing, if you're a slightly more public sector centric not-for-profit, and you do care for very accurate reporting from the grant and fund perspective, then SAP S/4HANA could be a great system, especially for global large enterprise workloads. So that's number 6. Number 5 on our list is Oracle Cloud ERP. And Oracle Cloud ERP has very similar target market as SAP S/4HANA. Again, for very large enterprise companies, for mid-market, the licensing, the implementation might be too expensive, and it might not be as great fit, just because the kind of layers that you are going to have from the enterprise perspective, they might not be as relevant for the mid-market, not for profit, for the smaller, not for profit. The real difference between Oracle Cloud ERP and SAP S/4HANA, Oracle Cloud ERP is slightly more customizable than your SAP S/4HANA. Again, SAP S/4HANA has far more intertwined financial control layers, depending upon what you care for. But for the not-for-profit, the customizability is going to be a very important factor. And that's why you are going to find Oracle Cloud ERP adopted with a lot more not-for-profit companies, very large not-for-profit companies. And it is going to have some of the last mile functionality as well related to Oracle Cloud ERP. So that's number 5. Number 4 on our list is Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. And in this particular case, they have renamed the product and now they call it as Project Operations as well as the Supply Chain Management. So for the most part, for this particular use case, you are probably going to use their project operations product, because supply chain operations is not going to be relevant for your use case unless you do need supply chain. In general, the supply chain needs for the not-for-profit are very light, so their supply chain product may be slightly overwhelming for you. For the most part, if you're looking for the not-for-profit accounting, for the most part, finance and operations is going to include that, but you are also going to have ecosystem that is very strong with a lot of players that are going to have very customized experience for a specific not-for-profit. So that's going to be a huge plus. In general, the Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations system is very well adopted globally. So in those cases, some of the other systems might not even be present in those geographies. So for that, this could be a great system in general. So again, if you're a large enterprise, non-for-profit, you are looking for a system that is going to be customizable. It's going to have the data center in your geography. It's going to be very globally localized, etc. Then this could be a great system, and that's number 4. Number 3 on our list is NetSuite. And NetSuite is very well adopted among SMB not-for-profits. For the most part, NetSuite does have the not-for-profit edition, so you are going to get all of those scenarios pre-baked as part of your as part of the product, which is going to be your fund accounting, grant accounting. Some of these things may not be included with a lot of mainstream products, including the ones from Microsoft, etc. So NetSuite is very well adopted among those global SMBs. If you care for that global consolidation, global synergies across different entities, then NetSuite could be a great product. The major issue that we have with NetSuite is their pricing. It's one of the most expensive product, even though they are going to offer a very introductory version that is not going to have as much of a price shock. But for the most part, NetSuite is a very expensive product in general. But if you're looking for not-for-profit system, ERP system for SMBs, then this could be a great fit, and that's number 3. Number 2 on our list is Sage Intacct. And Sage Intacct probably has one of the highest penetration among SMB not-for-profit, just because the way their structure is designed, you are going to have a lot more out-of-the-box reporting KPIs that are going to be built as part of their core. They might not be as strong from the inventory supply chain perspective, but you don't need that for the majority of the not-for-profit. The integration, the ecosystem that you are going to have with Sage Intacct is going to be one of the strongest in general among the not-for-profit players, whether you look for the specific FP&A players that specialize in not-for-profit, if you care for all of that, even the emergency management or the CRM systems or field service systems, all of those that specialize in not-for-profit, they are probably going to be part of their ecosystem because they have very large market share in general with not-for-profit. So Sage Intacct is a great system for global SMBs and global SMB not-for-profit, and that's number 2. Number 1 on our list is Unit 4. And Unit 4 would be the right fit for very large not-for-profit that care for that suite-centric capability that is going to be part of the same package. Unit 4 provides the complete system for not-for-profit, whether you care for ERP, FP&A, indirect procurement, or anything and everything that you are going to need from the ERP perspective that is included as part of Unit 4 suite. The experience that you're going to get is probably going to be very similar to Workday, but Workday is lighter in its operational capabilities, or maybe the right comparison would be Blackboard. Blackboard does provide very deep operational capabilities for specific not-for-profit, and that's what you are going to get with Unit 4 as well. In general, Unit 4 is a legacy vendor, and they have launched or rewritten their cloud native product. So from the technology perspective, they might not be as strong. At least the last mile functionality that you are going to get inside their cloud version may not be as rich as their on-prem variant. And then you need to keep in mind the constraints that you're going to have with the cloud model is going to be very different. So you need to design your architecture around that, whether you are going to get the real benefit that you were getting from the previous Unit 4 on-prem product. So that's where you would require a little bit of due diligence. But overall, if you're looking for that suite experience where you're going to get a lot more capabilities from the not-for-profit perspective, that is going to be built up pre-baked, whether you talk about reporting, integrations, ecosystem, etc. All of that is going to be part of Unit 4, and Unit 4 is a very global system as well. So again, that's designed for very large not-for-profit, and that's number 1. If you enjoyed this video, we are going to include a very detailed report that is going to have much deeper insight in each of these systems. So you might want to download that. We publish these videos on a weekly basis. So you might want to hit the subscribe button if you don't want to miss them. And if you have not checked our digital transformation report, we include these insights annually with that report as well. So you're going to find that link too. And if you prefer audio version, it's available. This podcast is also available on major podcasting platform. On that note, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.